What's up, fellow YouTubers? Welcome to Shooting the Shit with KingCobra666420. We chillin' like rockstar villains. I'm gonna conclude this here video response as quickly as possible. A lot of people are itching to hear the second half of this here video response. There's a fashion designer who claims to have had her airport luggage stolen by a person. Yeah.
Sam Brinton stole her luggage in 2018 and has pics of him in the gowns to back it up. How is this real life? So if you don't remember, Sam Brinton was in the Biden administration. My God, this story is just insane. So he was in the Biden administration and all these disgusting pictures of him trying to be, leaked out, like him doing like weird puppy play fetish stuff. But the weirdest thing was that he got caught on camera in airports stealing women's luggage. Like,
okay, so this asshole is being caught stealing women's luggage. Let me ask you this. The gun you saw me slinging in the opening of the video was just a cap gun that I have because I'm a Wild West fan and I wore it for a costume for Halloween, and I put I enjoyed my Halloween last year. Nothing really happened. People are just pussies. It is what it is. But that's beside the point. Even I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna walk through airport security with my cap gun and all the little fake bullets around on it. That just seems fucking stupid. Now, if you're going to like a prop gun convention, you gotta travel on an airplane, you're carrying that kind of thing. That can be a bit cumbersome, I reckon, going through airport security. If they're like, sir, why do you have all these guns on you? But that's beside the point. This dude right here is going around, and I don't care if you work for Biden or not. Fuck all that. Fuck stupid bullshit. Fucking. If you want women's clothing, you don't gotta steal it from the airport, dude. You can just go to Walmart and get you some. And like, if people see you doing it and they say nothing or anything about it, ignore it either way,
multiple times, and even went back after he was caught.
And if you don't like if Joe Biden's president, well, tough shit, man. When the next election comes, exercise your right to vote. That's all you can do.
Right, he was fired, rightfully so. That was actually kind of shocking. I didn't think.
Yeah. So like Joe Biden basically said, hey, you know what? I support they thems, but I'm not gonna support this kind of behavior. The dude, rightfully so, gets fired because it's like you can't be working for the president and then being caught stealing women's luggage in an airport. I mean, I don't work for the guy, but even I'm smart enough to go, okay, this cap gun that I have for my Halloween costume that I bought looks super and acts super realistic to the T, and I wouldn't be caught dead in airport security with something like this on my side, even if it's fake. They'd look at I'd be dropped and detained so quickly that would be so fucking stupid. So for this guy to be like thinking he can just get away with stealing women's luggage, like, okay, we get it. You like to dress in drag or whatever, but like, this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, I totally support trans people and drags and whatever, as long as you ain't a sicko and doing dumb shit like this, stealing women's luggage from the airport because, I mean, like, maybe you're a dude who likes to sniff chicks' panties. I don't fucking know. But, like, that's beside the point. You shouldn't be sniffing her panties unless that's your bae. That's all I'm saying on that.
Biden was even going to fire him. But this woman came forth with a tweet saying, "Hi, my name is Ashai Kimson, a fashion designer based in Houston, Texas. I lost my bag in
Houston, Texas.
2018 in DCA. Recently,
The hate comments I got on my cap gun too were hilarious. I bought it for my Halloween costume last year, which I enjoyed my Halloween, despite all the assholes trying to ruin it. It just shows you people are fucking desperate. And you want to confront me on it like you're owning me, you better recognize King Cobra JFS. I don't ask for this harassment, neither do you. So making the situation worse for trying to egg me on. And you know I'm fucking right, otherwise you wouldn't have 3 people to back you up like a pussy. Like 3 people to face 1 man holding a cap gun. Ooh. But that's beside the point. Like, so we got this, and then people are sitting there going, real men carry a real 45, you pussy. And I'm like, you do realize this is for a Halloween costume and it's not meant to be real, just realistic enough to sell my costume idea for Halloween. Like, and you don't want to hate because I put this much thought into my costume and did something a little bit different this year, or last year, excuse me, as instead of doing the Green Phantom. And it's like, well, Cobra does stuff with his life. What do we do with our life? Sit here and try as hard as we can to fuck with him, and it's sad. My trolls can't enjoy their Halloween without fucking with Cobra, because they don't put any originality into their Halloween costume. Heck, they don't got the support that I have. So now if we see Cobra slinging a gun on camera, it's like, oh jeez. Like, god damn it, Cobra, you shouldn't be advertising guns and alcohol like that. But let me state that this is for 21 and up, and that the gun that I'm slinging around is empty, and it's also fake. It takes dummy caps. The cartridges with like the caps that you stick on the back, it is a cap firing gun that I purchased from a replica website. I did an unboxing of it last year. Fuck off.
heard the news on Fox News about Sam Brinton's luggage.
If you think that's wacky, it's like, here's a dude who's stealing chicks' luggage from airports, man, because he likes dressing like a chick, or they, them, whatever, and it's just like, okay, that's a little out there, but, yeah, no. You want to dress like a chick, no one's going to stop you, dude. You want to define gender roles, no one's going to stop you. But the second you start stealing other people's luggage, I kind of feel like you're crossing the line, dude. Because even I'm smart enough to go, I couldn't carry my cap gun through airport security, so what gives you the right to be a schmuck and steal people's fucking luggage? In my last live stream, I was doing the first half of this video, and you hear a trans woman bitching about pronouns, which I thought was kind of hilarious, but I digress. Shit.
Scandal. Surprisingly, I found his image wearing my custom made outfit, which was the lost bag in 2018. So she's wearing the dress in the picture, and he's wearing it. You gotta be so demented. First of all, to do illegal stuff in an airport is on such a higher level of doing illegal stuff just in.
That's generalization. I mean, like I said, I can't walk through airport security strapped with my fake cowboy shooter and be like, yeah, it's just part of a costume. What you gonna do about it? I'd be tackled by airport security. So the level of stupidity with this person, I don't know what their pronouns are, and I don't want to assume they're fucking pronouns, because that might offend the woke mob. God forbid that happens. But I'm like, dude, you want to dress up as a chick or whatever, man, do your thing. But like stealing people's luggage and hurting innocent people or scarring them for life or forcing people to accept it. Like, there's lines, dude. And I don't say dude as in like I'm trying to be like gender specific. I just say dude because that's just the nature of the beast. I'm not trying to be like gender specific, but it's like you listen to Black Sabbath and like 60s, 70s hard rock. It's like, dude, struggling some like 80s, 90s, whatever. I shouldn't have to fucking mansplain anything to any of you fucks. This is just the second half of a video response. I'm uploading a new t-shirt tomorrow to customize girl that will slay trolls so goddamn hard you don't even know. It'll just be epic. Like, I wanted to commemorate, and it's just brilliant. You'll have to wait until it fucking drops. But this fucking guy over here is stealing people's luggage because he likes dressing up as a chick. Sure, they got conventions for it. Yeah, they do. They got conventions for that kind of thing, man. And I'm like, that's your kink, whatever. You're not fully trans. You just like dressing up as a chick. That's the problem with our society is you cannot cross gender norms without people assuming or shoving pronouns in your face. And it's annoying as shit. It's all about labels, isn't it? Like, oh, well, all of a sudden the student starts painting their nails and, what are you, a fag? What are you, a tranny? It's like, no. People are like, they see you painting your nails and automatically it's like, what are your pronouns? And it's like, do I know you? The fuck are pronouns? And anyone ever think of the cons? Because that's what life's all about, you know? You gotta think about the pros and the cons. That's a really shitty joke, but I went for it.
A regular place. Like stealing something from an airport is so much more crazy than stealing something from any store because the consequences are so much more severe. But also, you can't roll up to Walmart and buy some clothes?
That's what I'm saying, Blair White. She gets it. This dude want to steal, okay, they, them, okay, now I don't even know what this person's pronouns are. Like I said, I don't want to assume that or make assumptions that might offend people. I'm just trying to entertain people with my YouTube and sell my stuff, you know, merchandise, tactical soap, wands, etc. But like this dude up in here stealing female luggage because he liked dressing up. Okay, this person likes dressing up as a female. Just say that person. Of course, if they identify as anything other than human, now you're being a speciesist, and like you see where society gets to be a bit annoying because you try to be politically correct, and nothing's good enough for anyone because everyone's offended, everything's sexist, everything's racist, and don't you dare use gender-based pronouns because you're a bigot. Oh, fuck that shit. And then the whole thing just restarted right as I was watching it. Fucking kiss my ass.
I think.
This ad again.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, Jeffrey.
Ugh. Like, I already covered the Jeffree Star side of it. And then I'm covering this other side of it. And the system can't handle it. Because then the fucking video just restarted. They're like, that's supposed to make me mad. Like, haha, we made the video restart. I'm like, I don't care. This is stupid.
Fashion designer alleges Sam Brinton stole her luggage in 2018 and has pics of him in the gowns to back it up. How is this real life? So if you don't remember, Sam Brinton was in the Biden administration.
See, I'm a Wild West fan. Tombstone's one of my favorite movies. And you grow out a mustache for those reasons and just ignore the haters and the people talking shit. Because they got nothing better to do with their fucking sad lives. They really don't. I'm not afraid to be unapologetically myself. And that people can't stand it because they want to be themselves, but they're afraid of ridicule by society, and they're afraid that they'll get judged. And it's like, ain't no one gonna judge you as long as you ain't a sicko, inhuman, sexist, racist piece of shit. You know? As long as you're not someone who abuses animals, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Fuck animal abuse while we're at it. And fuck elder abuse while we're at it, too, goddammit. But this motherfucker right here is legitimately used to work for Joe Biden. That's no affiliate with him because the Biden administration has fired him since. But this clown is... I try not to judge people, but like, you want to dress up as a chick, that's your thing. They got conventions for that, you know. They got a city in California for that. It's called San Francisco. I'm being a smart ass, but that's why you love Cobra, right? Yeah. They drive around in rainbow painted Priuses. You hear the siren, it goes, wee woo, wee woo. I'm just busted balls now. Calm down. A lot of people get triggered by that, like Cobra. Watch it. I don't take kindly to your sense of humor. I'm like, you can take a dick up the ass, but you can't take a joke. Okay, now that's pushing it. Stop on the head. I'm sorry, but it's okay to make fun of me for being straight, but if I make any comments like I have been making, y'all get offended. Kiss my ass with this equality argument. Like, I get blamed for all the asshole white people in the past. Fuck you. You didn't ask for your oppression. I didn't ask for my privilege. Enough said on that. Don't even get me started. Let's focus on finishing the Blair White video response. Yeah. One society issue at a time, folks. Like, okay, Cobra, you made some bomb-ass spaghetti and meatballs. You're tackling some serious political issues in today's hot topics. Whoa, man. You're just shooting the shit, you know? Fuck mass shootings. Fuck murder.
Jen. My God, this story is just insane. So he was in the Biden administration, and all
This is the kind of crap that hurts Blair White's kind of people. Just saying.
disgusting pictures of him trying to be, leaked out, like him doing like weird puppy play fetish stuff. But the weirdest thing was that he got caught on camera in airports stealing women's luggage like multiple times.
This motherfucker. Okay, if you get caught stealing women's luggage on camera security multiple times, you get caught the first time and you're stupid enough to keep doing it. This person clearly has some mental issues. And people want to call me an overgrown toddler because I believe in what I believe in. But I'm like, okay, you gotta think there are people out there more delusional than I am. I'm not saying I'm delusional. I'm saying my trolls are delusional. And people like this are batshit crazy. And you know, this kind of thinking is going to piss off all the right people. And I, quite frankly, don't give a fuck. So their solution is to YouTube poop King Cobra's videos. And it's sad, because Cobra hates sickos. And they know that I have a logical way of thinking that tends to piss people off. But that's just how the male brain works. Speaking of somebody who has one, it's just, like, the costume accessory doesn't have to be real for me to enjoy it or for it to be a perfect companion for the costume. It literally functions just like the real thing, and it's got the same weights. And I literally waited several months for it because they were out of stock. Because this kind of thing is high in demand. I can't imagine why a realistic cap gun would be high in demand. I really can't. In today's society, if you need these for like a play, or for like a homemade movie, or maybe you're an avid Wild West fan, and you don't got the money to spend on like authentic Wild West, guns. So you get the next best thing, which is a prop replica. These things are fun to fuck with. The plunger works on it too. You know what I'm saying? It ejects the cartridges when you open that thing up right there. So it literally works just like the real thing. And we put that down for a second. Yeah, that's the welcome to Wyoming moment right there. There we go. It is a prop, so it's not as authentic as the real thing. And the cylinder needs to be lined up just with it. Just, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's as realistic as you're going to get for what I paid for it. And I'm happy with it. It's got some wear and tear on it. Looks realistic enough for my Halloween costume. Of course, it's empty. Don't matter. Because at least I'm able to distinguish that this is fantasy. This is just an adult's toy gun, basically. But you got some asshole in the airport who's stealing women's luggage, who can't distinguish reality from fantasy. Like, hey man, you want to dress up as a woman? No one's gonna judge you for that. But you start stealing women's luggage, and it's like, sir, do we have a problem here?
And even went back after he was caught?
I don't always get to go out shooting. I'm very happy with the single gun I have. I get the idea of wanting to have multiple guns at once, but you don't get to go shooting very often. Then it just clutters up your space. You got one solid gun for home defense, and that's all you really need. I hate mass shootings more than I love guns, and I'm tired of that as well, but that's for another video.
Right, he was fired, rightfully so. That was actually kind of shocking. I didn't think.
You know what else is fired? Ooh, I fired off a kiss for my trolls because they can kiss my ass. Yeehaw! Speaking of shooting your shit, damn man, I smell like. Oof. There's a gazillion fart jokes I can make right now, but I'm not gonna do it because I want to press onward and try to be a little bit mature with this. Look, the goth cowboy who farted. I'm your Huckleberry. Motherfucker.
I was even gonna fire him. But this woman came forth with a tweet saying, "Hi, my name is Ashai Kimson, a fashion designer based in Houston, Texas. I lost my bag in 2018 in DCA. Recently, I heard the news on Fox News about Sam Brinton's luggage scandal. Surprisingly, I found his image."
Here's a thought. I don't care what you identify as. If it ain't your luggage, don't fuck with it. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, wouldn't you think, YouTube?
Wearing my custom-made outfit, which was the lost bag in 2018. So she's wearing the dress in the picture. And he's wearing it. You gotta be so demented. First of all, to do illegal stuff in an airport is on such a higher level of doing illegal stuff just in a regular place. Like, stealing something from an airport is so much more crazy than stealing something from any store because the consequences are so much more severe. But also, you can't roll up to Walmart and buy some clothes? You were working for Biden. No, you weren't poor. You gotta steal.
I mean, you assume that just because they work for the government that they're rich. But regardless, you don't do that shit whether you work for Biden or not. Like, dude, you don't just go up to people's luggage and start shifting through it. Unless you have ATF written across your, if you're part of airport security, then that's a different story. Having a total stranger go through your security in your fucking suitcase and what have you, it's stressful enough. Like, airport security fucking sucks ass. They're going through your luggage and they pull out your underwear like, hey, and then they see you don't pack any underwear. They're like, oh, you're naughty. See, even I'm smart enough to go, like, I wouldn't be able to pack my Halloween accessory through an airport security without being stopped. That's just how it is. And I'm smart enough to go, that's a stupid idea and you shouldn't do it. But apparently this person over here just thinks, why the fuck not? We're gonna steal someone's luggage. I mean, hey, you've been caught on camera doing it before. Like, you're not gonna get caught doing it again. Like, after, like, the second time doing it, people are like, that's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy who likes to steal women's luggage. Yeah, keep an eye on him if he goes into the luggage rack. Giddy goo, he said rack. All right.
Luggage? Absolutely insane. I mean, I actually have like a small level of empathy for Sam Brinton because I think that level of crazy is just like you're really suffering internally. But also, like, this is like the
She's not really suffering, but at the same time she is, because it's like, if you were in her shoes, it's like some random dude or person's fucking with your luggage and it's not airport security. You'd be like, excuse me, as Andrew Dice Clay once famously said, excuse me.
the fuck.
Sir, is that your luggage? Does it have your name on it? Oh, it doesn't. Well, fucking A, what a coincidence, because it's got my fucking name on it. Oh, you like the dress? Well, okay, you know what? Fuck you then. You can buy one of the debuts. Okay, I'm not saying shit, but if you were a fashion designer and you pour your heart and soul into your creations as an artist myself, I don't care what. Okay, fashion designing is totally a different type of art. I'm more of the musician type, I play guitar and I sing and I craft magic wands. But that's beside the point. If I had a suitcase full of my albums and it was going to be my big break, and then like fucking some asshole at the airport stole all my CDs that I was going to hand out, and like I never saw him again, I'd be pissed. So I can get where this chick's coming from, She suffered a hit because that's her art. All because some creepy weirdo is just abusing their privilege, Because it's like you can't say anything towards this person doing it other than, sir, we need to ask you to stop stealing people's luggage. Because if you make it specifically about the gender that they're stealing it from, or like assuming anything about him, her, whatever they identify as, you're now the bigot. So now it's no longer about the asshole stealing luggage from people in the airport and they're being a nuisance and they need to be locked up. It's, oh, well, now you're a bigot and you need to respect pronouns. And like, there are people like this who abuse LGBTQIAA plus privilege, just like anyone else abusing their privilege, and it's disgusting.
Story of the day. All right. Oh my God. It just doesn't stop. Rejecting the use of Latinx is transphobic, apparently.
Yeah, because, everything's transphobic, everything's racist, everything's sexist. I'm just over it. And then the internet craps out on me while I'm trying to do this video response, and I'm like, what do you do? Crack open a beer. And people accuse me of being transphobic, and I'm like, what's rich about that? And more rich than my spaghetti and meatballs is the fact that you got trans people who are totally allowed to crap on me for being cisgender, but if I say anything to defend it, it's white cisgendered fertility, and it's so stupid. I'm like, okay, so your whole argument is you're sick and tired of oppression, so then you systematically micro-oppress everyone else with your revenge hatred. I'm like, that doesn't do anything but create more fucking problems. And meanwhile, it's like, hey man, there are a lot of good people out there just doing their thing. And as long as you ain't a sicko, who gives a flying fuck? Like you see J.K. Rowling out there. That was like my costume. I had a wand on me and my cap gun and my hat, and then I had my duster, like a Wild West warlock. You know, that was the costume basically. And I had fun doing it, despite the assholes trying to piss on me for it. Then when I went to the bar and I started blasting Ozzy Osbourne, they asked me to turn it down and turn it off because people are watching the game. And I didn't want to cause any trouble. I was just trying to enjoy my Halloween, you know, and pay patronage to a local bar. And so I turned it off because I didn't want to get kicked out of the bar. And, you know, I enjoyed my Halloween. Like, fuck the trolls. You know what I'm saying? They're all losers. YouTube. The trolls can't enjoy their Halloween without trying to harass King Cobra. And it's like, so I get to a degree what it's like to be bullied just for being you, you know? I'm not going to go out of my way to bully somebody because you're black or because you're trans or fat or whatever, or female or any of that stupid dumb shit. Because it's just like, I've been there, dude. I get bullied for being one of Ozzy Osbourne's biggest fans. They sit there and go, well, Ozzy and Sharon support your trolls. And it's all fucking bullshit, YouTube. But you can't let that get to you. You know, I refuse to let that stop me from supporting Ozzy Osbourne. It's not about him signing me, it's about his health getting better. That's just the way I see it after several beers. You know, that's more important to me than, you know, there are a lot of people that want to sign Cobra because I'm a very talented musician. And I showcase it on my YouTube channel. Something that my trolls do not do. Like, Cobra, you sound like shit. I'm like, yeah, there are some days I don't sing the best, but at least I put myself out there. The trolls ain't doing that. They're not, dude. It's easier to hate on somebody for trying than it is, you know, shit. Okay, my costume last Halloween fucking kicked ass. It was as authentic as I could make it without being, like, real. So fuck the trolls. They're all a bunch of miserable cunts. You know that. They really are. Now, what the fuck is this shit? Rejecting the use of Latinx is transphobic. So apparently Blair White is a transgendered Latina woman, and because she started off life as a man of Latin descent.
News to me. This is a disgusting article out of where, of course, the San Francisco Chronicle. Where else would this come out of, by the way? I mean, first of all, have you ever met a Latino, a Mexican, a Spanish person, anyone who goes by the phrase Latinx who supports that? Because as far as I can see, again, the same people who think misgendering, applying inappropriate labels, calling people.
Yeah, you know what pisses me off? I hear the misgendering argument 100%. People just automatically assume you do it because you're gay or because you're trans, not because you're, something else entirely different. And that being goth has nothing to do with being trans or gay or whatever. And yes, there are some people in the goth community who do those things, but that's not a representation of all goths. And people use it to fuck with me because of the social stereotype that women wear makeup. And it's stupid, YouTube. So, like, the whole thing is stupid. So, I totally get the argument here. Like, ancient Egyptian men wore makeup because it helped them with the sun and all that kind of thing. But that's beside the point because Egyptians did a lot of fucked up things, but that's neither here nor there. What's a mummy's favorite kind of music? I heard it was rap. Wah, 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 wah. Over here, like these goddamn undead mummy bastards. Sometimes the age-old expression is you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. I've heard it for the longest time, and sometimes there's truth to that. But you can't say that in today's society without people being like, oh, you insensitive piece of shit. And I'm like, really? Because I get bullied for being King Cobra JFS. I'm the last motherfucker to bully somebody for being black. So if you want to call me a racist, you can go fuck yourself. I get so sick and tired of people blaming everyone who is white for white privilege and all this other shit. But I don't hold it against black people because they've been mistreated. And I sure as hell don't go on and whine about it all the time on every video. Like, I'm sick of hearing white privilege. Eh. But when you have these like political discussions, that's what it comes down to, dude. I didn't ask for my privilege, and you sure as hell didn't ask for your oppression. You know, the truth stinks like a freshly ripped horse's farts. I'll tell you that right now. So, like, when people call me a racist, I'm just like, that's funny because we're all hypocrites racing to our graves. That's not the kind of racist that they meant, Cobra. I know I was just being a smart ass. Cobra's smart mouth will get me into trouble. Because society will sit there and say, don't do drugs. If you smoke pot, you're a drug addict. But if you take the drugs that society has approved, then you're not a drug addict. And I'm like, okay, but there were these prescription drugs that have 10 million side effects to one solution. You know the side effects to marijuana: a hungry, happy, sleepy paranoia, thirstiness, laughter, slight paranoia, laughing at everything, fucking slight memory loss. Like, it's sad that the drug they're preaching against is safer than 95.95.59% or more of the prescriptions that they're shoving down our throats. So your kid's got ADHD, so you give them a little bit of pot and they're like, it slows down their mind a bit and it allows them to like genuinely think. Even if they don't have it, it's a lot safer than giving them Ritalin, for fuck's sake. Meanwhile, you got these assholes where it's like everything's transphobic and they're trying way too hard to force this political agenda. And all it does is create mass hysteria and confusion for LGBTQIAA+. And nobody, if you're like genuinely transphobic or homophobic, you're not going to take this much time to dwell into the subject you're gonna be like, well, Jeffree Star's right, and what the fuck are you gonna do? There's only 4 genders, Cobra's right, but it's like, hey. The idea that, okay, so if you wear nail polish, you automatically have to act feminine. This is where a lot of people get it twisted. Jeffree Star does it because that's how he feels comfortable. But, like, dudes who paint their nails and also grow out facial hair, it gets seen as something that's controversial in today's society, and it's so stupid. Like, oh, Cobra, how dare you? And it's like, what the fuck have I done? But meanwhile, you got Blair White over here, and these people are like saying the word Latinx is now transphobic. What? I don't pay attention to all of it because it's a jumbled mess. All you can do is sit there and skate through it and say, hey, I support LGBTQIAA+, as long as you ain't a sicko, and as long as you don't push all these overrated bullshit narratives. The idea that everything is phobic. Like Milo on YouTube, you know who that is, this Stunning and Brave, became very famous for being non-binary. They, them goes off on YouTube and accuses everyone of being homophobic, racist, sexist, misogynistic, and then complains because they're sick and tired of being judged by everyone. And I'm like, you can't just, what? Hypocrisy, ow, my head. I pointed this out saying, hey, I have no problems with Milo, they, them, or whatever they're doing. Just pointing out some basic knowledge, even if it triggers certain people. And the last channel I had got taken down for it because it was like, oh, hey, you spoke out against the system. And I said, fuck that. I support trans people, but that doesn't mean you get to crap on me for being cisgendered, you hypocrite. And that's pretty straightforward. I don't go out of my way to crap on trans people just because, oh, hey, you identify as a non-binary purple dragon, whatever fucking.
They don't want to be called as an act of violence, but they have no problem telling Latino people they have to be referred to as Latinx.
Okay, so how the fuck does that work? Someone mislabeled your pronouns, so that's an act of violence. Were they physically beating the shit out of you or holding a gun to your fucking head because they mislabeled your pronouns? You know what I'm saying? Of course not. And that might have scared a couple of people, but remember, this gun is not real. It is a cap gun that I used for my Halloween costume. And I might have brought it out to prove an exaggerated point, but that's beside the point. I'm a Huckleberry. Yeah. Yeah, as I'm a Wild West fan, this definitely satisfied the craving for that feeling, But that's beside the point. I at least acknowledge that this gun is fake and that because it looks so realistic, you gotta be responsible with it. And that's true for this situation too. I might have been too far for saying that, but it's like, hey, Oh wait, no, it doesn't work like that because if you go to fuck a chick who used to have a dick and she didn't tell you, and then you found out she was trans and you broke up with her and tried to charge her with rape, it wouldn't work because you're a dude who got laid by a chick, and you know, that's how it is in our society. And if you try to call it out for what it is, if you consented to it, it ain't rape, amigo. If she didn't tell you before doing that, then that's kind of fucked up too because some people are not into it, you know. And this is the kind of uncomfortable conversation nobody wants to have. Like, watch it, Cobra. This is the kind of crap that could really. Kind of like one of those really shitty fucking dating secrets, like, you know, having kids and you're a single parent, or that maybe you have STDs, you know, one of those things that maybe after the second date you'd probably want to mention, oh, by the way. Not here to crap on single moms, that was a cheap shot. Pshoo! Josh Saunders, you ornery bastard. But like, hey, you know, dads who hang out with their sons at Hooters and they're single dads, they try to hit on the of age Hooters waitresses. You know, that's kind of creepy. That's equally as creepy and desperate as, you know, because it's like, hey man, don't bug a chick while she's trying to do her job. I mean, hey, if you bring your son to Hooters and you're getting wings and beer, and he's at that tender age of just figuring out the world, you'd be like, son, that's a working girl right there. And there ain't nothing wrong with it, man. However, you should not degrade her just because her uniform is scantily clad and it makes your heterosexual blood pump. I'm like, okay, you know, I can appreciate the female figure with the old Hooters waitress outfits. They don't have to be like all the way up their ass crack for me to be like, okay, I get it. She's a cute female with a nice ass, all right, but she's also got a personality. And it's like, what was wrong with the booty shorts? Not a goddamn thing. I see a lot of these Hooters waitresses throwing a complaint about it, and I'm like, yeah, you know, if I was in their goddamn shoes, you know, I got a nice cock, but at the same time, if I don't feel comfortable showing it off, I'm not going to show it off. I mean, like, dude, you know, it's just treating others the way you want to be treated and putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Those are the two golden rules to life, friends. And fuck the trolls.
Right. And I'll let my Latino outside out to fucking defend this. Also, it's very disgusting how they have no problem erasing Spanish culture either because like if you know anything about the Spanish language, for which I don't even speak Spanish and I know this, everything is gendered, right?
Okay, so I don't know what the fuck Latinx is. I don't know. I don't understand the term. But there is a problem with people who identify as transracial. Uh, Excuse me. Oh, it tastes like spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah. And people who are transracial, it's basically a bunch of white dudes going around saying that they identify as anything else but white. And in today's culture where everyone hates white people, that kind of bullshit just makes it harder for transgendered folks to get accepted and creates more hatred for white people. But I didn't say that out loud. And I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to be that one bigot, but we gotta draw the line at transgender. That's kind of unfair to women, but like at the same time, when you identify as a woman, you know, eh, this is an issue I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. That's why I'm like, you know, I just want to spend a couple hours making spaghetti and meatballs. It's a bomb ass garlic bread. I don't want to think about bullshit politics or the crazy fucked up world we live in. Just want to melt away into some spaghetti and meatballs and some bomb ass garlic bread. I want to broadcast it to YouTube so I can save the recipe for generations. So by the time I'm an old ass man in the rocking chair, sitting on the front porch of my clock tower dream house, you're the man who invented the spaghetti and meatballs. Yes, yes I am. It's damn good. You gotta live your life to the fullest, I get that. But like fucking what the fuck is transracial? There are people out there who identify as trans disabled. I'm not trying to be that guy, but that's seriously annoying. There are people out there who genuinely suffer from mental and physical disorders. And then there are people who just want to be a part of something, who want to feel special. And it's just like, okay, so now you got people who are transgendered, transracial, trans disabled, trans tree, trans species. And it's just like, where do you draw the line, dude? And you can't have that conversation without someone calling you transphobic. And it's super frustrating. Because trees are not going to rise up on TikTok and be like, okay, we're sick and tired of everyone copying us. Y'all ain't trees. You can't just bury your naked ass in the ground and then fucking survive off of water. How the fuck that gonna work? Like we're gonna act like a marijuana plant and bury our fucking bare feet in the ground and just survive on the water buck naked with our private parts hanging in the wind. I was like, sir, you're gonna get arrested for indecent exposure. And then if they try arguing with you about how they're trans tree, that's the kind of lunatic bullshit that gets you locked up in a mental institution, my friends. You know, because, like, I like cobras, but you don't see me identifying as a king cobra. That's just my fucking stage name. You don't see me, like, slithering around my apartment, biting people who come over, like, you know what I'm saying? That's stupid. It's fucking stupid, YouTube. It's beyond fucking stupid. So now, like, based off of this, you got people who identify as trans native because, no, fuck you. That's not how this works, dude. This is the kind of crap that continues to segregate us. Okay, if you're white, you don't get to identify as transracial. And if you're a different race, period, you don't get to identify as transracial. That's just, nope. If white man's not allowed to do it, no one else is allowed to do it either. That's called equality. If you don't like it, well then suck a dick. It's not my fucking fault my ancestors were fucking assholes. And I'm sick and tired of being reminded of it. Like, I'm one of the good white people. I try to be a good person, but then I get crapped on for being a good person. I get told you're just virtue signaling. It's like, okay, so I can't do anything without being told some bullshit like you're just a simp or you're just virtue signaling, you're just mansplaining. And if I don't say anything, it's like, well, you're a piece of shit. So it's like, what am I supposed to do? Just sit here on YouTube, drink a beer, and be like, fuck this shit. So I have no idea what the fuck the Latinx thing is. I'm not going to assume anything about it. But people who identify as trans Latina because they feel ethnically tied to the culture, maybe. I don't know. Like, I'm cool with people, man, as long as you ain't a sicko. Or I try to be, but people give me a hell of a lot of shit for just trying to establish peace and uniting the races and genders. No, not one person can do it alone, you know. It takes several of us, YouTube. And you don't gotta be drunk to do it. maybe Blair White explains what it is.
Like even this table, like they refer to it as having a gender. Like that's the structure of the language. Everything's male or female. So the idea that Latinx is the appropriate term that they should be using, fuck you. Colonizer. They want to call everyone colonizers. Colonizer. Look at you busting your way into Latino people's lives, trying to say what words they should and shouldn't describe themselves as. Disgusting.
Okay, so I don't understand how any of it works. But, like, you're telling them they cannot. Okay, well, I gotta look this word up because I don't want to sound like a bigot. I want to get my fucking arguing points. Whenever you hear a trans person bitch like this, it's kind of ironic because you expect everyone to call you a female, and if they don't, they're a bigot, but. What's the word? Latinx. That sounds like a fucking prescription drug. I didn't fucking spell it right. Hold up. Latinx. Meaning. A person of Latin American origin or descent used as a gender-neutral or non-binary alternative to Latino or Latina. Okay, so what the fuck is even that? Okay, I don't know what the fuck. Okay, so I look it up on Google and it literally says a person of Latin American origin or descent used as a gender neutral or non binary alternative to Latino or Latina. So, like, it's meant to be, like, more inclusive of. Okay, I see where Blair White's getting upset about it because trans people just want to be accepted. And I'm all these, like, okay, so now we have to be, like, gender inclusive of our own individual races kind of thing. You know, that's where it gets to be a bit excessive. See, I educated myself. I was just like, what the fuck does this? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I see what's going on here. This idea that, oh my god, if you say Latina or Latino, it's now like gonna offend someone's gender. And I'm like, okay, if you can't be proud of your human race without someone being offended, because it's now not only racist, it's now transphobic too on top of it.
And of course, it will come out of the San Francisco Chronicle. Can I tell you,
San Francisco Chronicle, yeah.
The San Francisco is, healed by now. I went to San Francisco in February of 2020, so right before the panini, right before every major city went to hell and back and then some. And I had not been to San Francisco for years. Like I think it had been like a few years, aside from maybe driving through, like maybe once going somewhere else. And I had gone to San Francisco for like every summer in my childhood. It was something my parents liked doing. I grew up in Northern California, so San Francisco was like the LA of Northern California, right? It was the closest like big city, minus Sacramento, but Sacramento is kind of gross. No shade. So shout out to the Bay Area. I'm conflicted about the Bay Area because I grew up there, but it's like it just went to hell during the pandemic. But anyway, February 2020, I went there and I did not know how bad it was. I legitimately walked by nothing but, I was in a nice area too, by the way. I was staying in a very expensive hotel. and one street over, literal human fecal matter lining the sidewalks, needles, homeless people. And the homeless people in San Francisco are different than the homeless people in LA, New York, like there's a few in Austin. It's really not that bad in Austin, but there are some in Austin. The ones in San Francisco touch you. Like the ones in San Fran will literally reach out and put their hands on you. They're much more aggressive. And it's not even like to assault you. It's just like they're willing to touch you. And keep in mind, this is before.
Like, nobody wants to be touched if it's not consensual. It doesn't matter if it's sexual or not. Like, don't touch people who don't want to be fucking touched. The touch doesn't have to be sexual. I'm just saying. It's like if you see someone, it's like, hey, it's like, dude, don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what your situation is. It comes down to human decency. If I would, I would love to help people in that circumstance, what she's talking about, But these people, sometimes you can't help them, dude. You think the easy solution is, well, if every celebrity in Hollywood's got like $500 million, like they can't contribute a minimum of $1 million to ending homelessness around California, making it a cleaner state and helping these people out, kind of thing. And that sounds good in theory, but some of these people don't want help. So it's like, what are you supposed to do? It's a really uncomfortable conversation. And I don't know, I can't begin to imagine, but could you imagine walking down the street?
The pandemic. So God only knows what it became. I hope it's like on the up and up now, but like, wow. But again, of course, this type of stupid article would come out of San Francisco. Hey, if you guys enjoyed that short clip from the podcast, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel as well as my main channel and watch the full episode, which will be somewhere on the screen.
Oh, jeez, YouTube. Like, that's just the thing of it. There's so many problems in the society we live in. And if people don't want the help, then they're not going to get it. And then there's people who need the help, and then they do get it. And then there's somewhere in between where it's like they don't really need it. They grasp reality the way they do, and there's nothing wrong with it.